It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is three professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Hello and welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Josh, and you're listening to a podcast that takes listener questions and parades the answers to these questions around like horses. We have a whip we crack near the horses that makes them run faster. These horses have amazing bowel control, unlike most horses. We have two additional co-hosts. One of them is Caleb. Caleb has a lot of varied interests. He's speaking at a lot of conferences right now. And I always there's so many of them happening, and my grasp on them is usually sort of small, but you're the guy doing them, so just wanted to make sure you were presenting at pretty prestigious medicine, and that's METACINE, like we're moving beyond kind of conventional medicine, I think is sort of the idea of the conference. And there's so many limited modalities within conventional medicine. And your talk was titled, "What's Up Now, Doc?" And it was about how you can find ways of sort of undermining the authority of your physician. Is that right? It sounded like that. And I think one of the ideas that you had that you were telling me about, I don't know if it made it into the final version of the presentation, was that you can sort of wear a nude suit, which is a full body, like kind of pantyhose. And you can have that on under your clothes. Then when your doctor asks you to undress, you're still wearing the nude suit. And I think kind of the idea was it just puts him on sort of awkward footing. What is he going to do now? Was that kind of how the talk went?
Yep. I'm just curious though, if your doctor asks you to undress,
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just be part of your dress, like your vestments?
Right, but
would
I
be
guess
the nude suit included. Wouldn't that be included in it?
And again, Caleb, I think you could probably shed more light on this, but I think what you told me initially was that, one of the things that you're interested in is how long it takes a doctor to figure it out.
Yeah. Like you take off your outer clothes,
right,
leaving the nude suit on, and the doctor takes a look at you and goes, "Okay, he starts thinking, I see why you came in." Something seriously wrong here. There are things that are smoothed over that should not
that
be.
are usually not.
Right.
And this is a guy who's seen a lot of this kind of stuff, and he's like, I'm not seeing all the things that I normally see. So, but it can take them, I think, in your experience, a little while.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that was also, you did another conference about male modesty. Maybe this was sort of related.
Yeah, it was.
Gabe's our other co-host, and I've only recently become aware of Gabe having a secret social media profile where he posts some pretty devastating takes. Like I found a video where Gabe, you talked at length about how you can order your life to limit contact with old crones. It seemed like a lot of it boiled down to finding ways of restricting your travel just to sort of a complex underground system of tunnels that helps. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem, but it helps.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't secret so much as just I didn't see that I necessarily needed to promote it on this channel, on this platform here. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the most effective way to avoid contact with Crohn's is developing a complex system of tunnels. And sometimes Crohn will sneak down in there and there's a lot of reels on the Instagram profile about crone traps and best baits to use, those sorts of things.
So you're not seeing as many crones.
I'm not in
the odd one.
Yeah,
sneaks in.
It still happens from time to time. Yeah.
But you're seeing, I'm assuming, dwarves,
sure.
goblins, much more often.
Yeah,
and that's a good trade,
right? To me, it is. The dwarves and goblins value the rocks and various minerals to a degree that they do not want me to lick any of them. Right. They want to keep the rocks away from me. Oftentimes, I'm competing with the dwarves and goblins for collecting minerals and ores and things like that. But
so you are collecting them. You're not just kind of tunneling through
it is nice
willy nilly.
It's like I'm not collecting them. I'm moving them. I'm displacing them. And the dwarves and goblins, spend too much time underground, which is definitely something that I'm trying to be conscious of, to not get dwarf brain or
goblin heart.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways you can diagnose it, and the symptoms look similar between goblin mind and goblin heart. But it is, it's just something that a really practiced warlock can only really diagnose correctly. But
so you're really only seeing crones in as much as they have dealings with goblins and dwarves.
Well, sometimes the goblins or dwarves will encounter some sort of underground curse that they'll enlist the help of a crone to, I don't know, maybe they want to transfer the curse to something else, to remove it entirely, intensify its effects.
This is just a crone. This isn't a hag or a witch.
No, but they still do.
Do they have an understanding of magic?
They do, and certainly their area of expertise, as we've covered, is rocks and like gray rocks in particular. So that's definitely something to look out for. Just because there's a dwarf or a goblin does not mean that there's no crone.
Right.
So you got to keep your eyes open. You got to keep your wits about you. Sometimes I've even encountered what appeared to be at first sight a goblin or a dwarf, but was later revealed to be a crone.
Yeah, and now so you've kind of developed some kind of economy with these dwarves and goblins, because at first you were just kind of, okay, interesting rock, but it's just in my way. I'm just trying to get from here to there, just thinking about your destination and not, enjoying the journey.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You do sort of get into a flow state when you're tunneling. You kind of achieve that Zen feeling of just there's no separation between your hands, and that is also an important aspect. You're not using any tools. You are just digging with your hands. Yeah. Why would you want to pass up
and sort of punching the rocks? Or
I mean, it's not Minecraft, Caleb.
Yeah, I know, but you're not using tools, so
yeah, I know.
So you are punching. You are punching the rocks,
but I'm digging tunnels underground using my hands. It's not Minecraft.
Yeah, it's not Minecraft. It's interesting. It does, and of course, something you would never be interested in doing would be, say, chewing through the rocks or eating a rock.
Absolutely not.
That's been one of the great gifts that sort of the animosity that the goblins and dwarves have towards you licking rocks. That's been a real relief.
Absolutely. At first, like I said, they're a little competitive. They are territorial even about, before they understand what my relationship to gray rocks, my tongue's relationship specifically to gray rocks is, which is never the twain shall meet. But you said
you'd lick them and you just wouldn't eat them.
Well, listen, it's fine. I think it's fine to say that Gabe's position on this has been evolving.
It's mainly just because I kind of just forget what I say one week to the other. Maybe. But to speak to the economy that's developed is I've actually found a pretty good way to get some free labor out of these guys.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll just say, listen, I'll dig for the next hour, and you guys get to keep whatever I dig up, any rocks, any minerals. That
Sometimes
come out
you
of
go,
this.
oh, I think there's some really good rocks over here.
Yeah.
Probably about 20 feet that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I can say, all right, now you guys, I'm thinking of going this way. It doesn't look like that was your original plan. They have these kind of calling them blueprints is definitely very generous,
Right.
because it's
They're sort of
etchings.
runic and etchings on
on gray rocks.
Yeah.
But that's one of the best uses for gray rocks that they've found. So I don't know why the crones haven't caught on to this yet.
Has there ever been a point where one of those gray rocks with the etchings on it gets kind of dusty and kind of obscures the actual outlines? Then you have to kind of remove that
Find
dust,
some way.
find some way to get that dust off there.
Yeah. And I'll
kind
just
of
find an
reveal-
underground spring to put it under and clear it
okay.
off. So I know where you were headed with that. I'm not going to lick the rock. Certainly not without the the added pressure of a crone offering it to me, or I don't even.
You will only lick a rock if a crone asks, not
if I feel
measly
like I'm
dwarf asks.
compelled to by the crone because it would otherwise incur some sort of horrible hex on me,
And
or
now-
some sort of terrifying curse.
or just a bad vibe, bad feeling.
Yeah,
Because
even
remember,
just a
the crone is not magical.
Right.
It's really just going to be her opinion of you. Which,
Yeah.
if you imagine that as some kind of horrible hex or curse on you,
yeah.
just her lower
opinion from
the elderly woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it just manifests as a little bit IBS.
Spotlightify comments. We've got a couple comments. One is going back a couple episodes to episode 91, Why Are Brothers Like This? I think there was some talk, Caleb, on there about your clown accessories, and also I think you said something about a daily routine. Was there a daily routine podcast or something that you mentioned? Like you do a podcast where you just talk about your daily routine.
Yeah,
I think
because
that
you were
was-
talking. We
yeah.
were talking about your Substack and how
Yeah.
I haven't really been reading it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I was upset because you guys haven't listened to my podcast at all.
Right. Yes.
And, but yeah.
Okay.
It
So
was
go
a
ahead.
banner week for Josh's Substack
Yeah.
because I liked.
I
liked for the
I-
first time.
Yes.
You liked?
I liked.
He did liked.
I read and I liked.
He did like to.
I think more importantly,
Nice.
I read it.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
the important part.
I guess.
But the consequential part is that
Honestly,
I liked it.
If I knew that only half the people that were liking my stuff were reading it, but I was getting a lot of likes,
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it.
Okay.
Anyway, we had a comment from one Justin here.
A Spotlightify comment?
Spotlightify comment that I wanted to
Beautiful.
get to. Justin says, if Caleb starts a clown accessory podcast, I will listen to it. If Caleb starts a daily routine podcast, I will not listen to it. That's his opinion.
At first, it definitely sounded like a threat.
It really is. It really is a comment.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is not the avenue to send questions in.
Right.
We
Yeah, no.
have-
Sometimes we do. Well, I feel like we could take a whatever. I think that's okay. I don't want to set like harsh boundaries. On
I mean,
what
I don't
exactly
feel the
can
need to do that either. But I would just say, if he sent that in as a question,
Right.
Well, it certainly doesn't fit the bill.
happen. Exactly. So
Yeah.
so it's a good thing it is a comment. So yeah, what do you? That's kind of interesting. Is Caleb, you do have some kind of seemingly growing interest in
Wow.
a clown accessory podcast, which is kind of cutting with the grain of certain things that you're already interested in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways I could go with that.
Mm-hmm.
A clown accessory podcast promoting male modesty and ways to
Use
get one up on your doctor.
Yeah, you
I
might be
will
able
say-
to use red noses and kind of.
In interesting places. I will say, you are going to go through some doctors if you're going to do this. One thing I wanted to mention earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have like a roster.
You're going to have to go through some doctors because if you're trying out different things, you're not going to get a good read on the later things.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be expecting. They know that something.
They've learned certain tricks.
They've learned that you are kind of tricky in this area. And so, yeah, I mean, the first time I tried out the full the nude suit, had been kind of part of the evolution of different things I was trying to confuse my doctor.
Yeah.
And so he'd seen it coming.
Right.
But then I got a new doctor and tried it out.
Yeah.
And boy, did he not see it coming. And yeah, it took him a long time to figure out what was happening, what was going on.
Yeah, so that would be interesting. I feel like you could really help people kind of jump ahead.
Yeah.
Kind of talk them through like some of the different moves that you can make, pitfalls of some, advantages of others.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do some all different kinds of ideas for that.
And you know
like a
that
clown suit that's just painted on.
But I mean that does kind of that seems like it's at odds with the male modesty.
You're not
aspect.
you're not I mean you're not seeing anything.
Right.
Okay.
Things painted on.
All right.
It's painted on.
It would be interesting to see to hear a country song that kind of deals in that area.
Kind of a rodeo clown.
Yeah.
Who's like really risking everything
Yeah.
because their whole suit is just painted on.
Gosh, this rodeo clown's striped trousers are just painted on.
We have another one, another Spotlight If I comment. This was from episode 92, hypothetical plural. And we had mentioned that Joy she had commented previously, drawn attention to. I'm sort of digging myself a deep grave here. Worried about alienating Joy a little bit, or preventing her from making wonderful Spotlightify comments. I drew attention to the fact that it seemed like a sort of a pity comment, or that there was something. Just kind of workmanlike in the comment. And then she didn't comment last week on the last episode. I think we commented on that. So she says, "Oh no, I missed commenting on that last one. I did enjoy the episode. The brother dynamic is always entertaining, and you caught what the question was. That was about her son, I believe, submitting a question about why are brothers so attached to each other."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she said, "Thank you for mentioning you're coming back to Substack. I've been waiting. My Substack's getting a lot of airtime this episode."
Yeah.
So
it's a hot topic.
It's exciting. It's like just like in the mall.
It's like Spencer's Gifts.
It's like Spencer's Gifts
during birthday season.
It's a hot topic. Guys, we've got a question. I think it's time to dig in.
Gabe will love that.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm over here not licking my chops, but rather covering them with a trusty red bandana.
It's been a little while since we've heard from this particular listener, and then he's submitted a number of questions in close succession. So, but we're going to take the first of them here this week. This is a question from Isaac.
Hey team, I was wondering, what's the worst crime somebody can commit on an airplane? Obviously, in 2001 there was a pretty famous airplane-related crime, but I'm talking about stuff like no shoes, no socks, very aromatic foods, vile coughing, general evil crimes.
What's the worst crime you can commit on an airplane?
Well, I mean, do we consider it seems wrong to call 9/11
just a crime.
just a crime.
That did stick out to me.
That doesn't seem right.
I mean, it certainly they did violate laws. That is
On the
true.
airplane.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't think it was above board.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, like the first thing that it is is somewhat criminal.
You don't.
Especially on the airplane. Then a lot of the things that happened
Right.
were not like specifically on the airplane.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of why it stays more criminal when you're just talking about what's going on the airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to the end result without a few crimes along the way.
But yeah, kind of the heavy lifting
Yeah.
is being when we're talking atrocity, a lot of that's not really
Right.
on the
Terrorism is kind
Yeah.
of it needs a bunch of crimes before.
Yeah.
Not every crime is a terrorist
Right.
attack
Yeah.
or terrorism,
Yeah.
but terrorism is made up of a bunch of
Interesting.
crimes. It's
Yeah.
sort of like, I know I use this a lot, but it's sort of like a Voltron of crimes. Terrorism is.
In a way, it's like the airplane at a certain point stops being the location of the crimes and instead becomes the weapon that is used in the commission of other
heard-
crimes.
I heard that how they got the idea for 9/11 was that one guy said that they heard the Superman.
Oh, yeah, it's not a plane.
It's not a plane. What
It's
is
not
it?
a bird. It's not a plane.
It's faster than a speeding bullet.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's Superman, but then they were like, but what if it was a plane? And what if the plane was like a big bullet?
Yeah.
So those two ideas within sort of the Superman
Yeah.
mythos that did it. That's interesting.
Kind of.
You do have to be. We often don't realize how careful we have to be with sort of the imaginative things that we put into the world.
Yeah.
They can really, if you just even sort
Right.
of bring up that Superman isn't a bird or a plane, and then also say that he's faster
Yeah.
than a speeding bullet,
Yeah.
kind of disconnected
Right.
from each other.
Well,
It
So,
could,
yeah.
it could inspire the government to, destroy the World Trade Center.
yeah. Well, like the first guy who said it was like, well, okay, it seems like the best guy to do this job would be Superman.
Yeah, yeah,
But it doesn't really seem like the kind of thing he would do.
yeah.
They didn't. I mean, eventually they were like, well, I just don't think we can get him for this.
It seems a little out of pocket for Superman, unless
Right.
maybe you were able to sort of really red pill Superman.
Right. I mean, it was like, yeah. And I remember I heard that it was kind of like, it was like the terrorist, the Al Qaeda brainstorming session.
Right.
And that this guy said this and they were like, this
man.
is just crazy. What are you even talking about? He's like, hey, blue sky guys, just no
Right.
wrong.
No bad ideas in brainstorming.
No bad ideas in us
Yeah.
brainstorming 9/11.
Right. Yeah. And they were way ahead
They're
of it.
like-
They were calling it that.
It is
Early on,
crazy
yeah.
that truly for them nothing was off the table.
Right. I mean, if you're starting with what if Superman, is like the main,
Yeah.
aspect of this, then think about all the other things that they shot down after, in
Yeah.
subsequent iterations.
Yeah. When the government's sitting there thinking, okay, what are some ways that we can come up with that we can blame Islamic extremists, that whole, they were really keeping their options fully open.
Yeah. Because honestly, if they went with Superman,
Yeah.
it would grant a lot more credence to like the government did this. Because I would think, Superman would definitely have misgivings about being directly responsible for the death of thousands of Americans.
Yeah.
But I think he would maybe be a little more amenable to that were it proposed by our government.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which really brings into question
is-
Superman's whole moral thing.
This is the thing with this is the issue that is interesting about a Superman story. Superman is always in a situation where he has to choose the lesser of two evils.
Right.
That is the fun, because
Yeah.
the question is, can Superman accomplish X?
Mm-hmm.
He always can. There's the only situation where he can't accomplish X is when he has to accomplish either X or Y.
Okay.
And he can't do both at
Right.
the same time.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
Superman story.
Yeah.
like writ large is that thing.
Some people say that they blame like if it had been Superman,
Right.
then Lois Lane would have got all the blame.
Right. Yeah.
Because if she had been not captured, not ransomed.
Yeah.
Ransomed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if the payment is do this horrendous terrorist attack.
Or Lois Lane gets it.
It's
then
more of
that
an
is kind
extortion.
of that's how you
Yeah.
could maybe get
Get him
Superman
to do it.
to do it. That's his weak spot.
It's
definitely.
true, but who knows? Maybe Superman is a war hawk more than we know, and was like, well, if this is the only way that we can get over into the Middle East in a more,
Yeah.
meaningful way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you've got Superman sitting there going, well, we could have
Right.
Iran continue to develop,
Yeah.
WMDs, a nuclear program, etc.
Superman's sitting there,
Yeah.
knowing how invested he is in Halliburton.
Right.
And
That's
what he can.
every penny he makes from Daily Planet goes
Just
right
goes right into stocks for
Halliburton
Yeah.
futures.
Yeah.
It's
He's just below Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
In
Like a majority stock.
yeah.
Stock holdings for
Dick Cheney,
Halliburton.
Superman.
Yeah.
Doesn't even say Clark Kent.
No, it's just
He's a Superman.
This does raise a question. What do you think Krypton's stance on Israel is? Do they recognize a Palestinian state?
and the necessity of, say, a free Palestinian, some kind
Right.
of two-state solution.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to get Zod? Or no, what's his dad's name? Card
Kal-El.
Kal-El? Is
Yeah,
that
that sounds
Superman's
right.
name? That's
I
Superman's
think
real
that's Superman's real name, but it is
name.
something. It's something
Yeah.
Cal something. Can't remember.
At
Cal
any
soy.
rate.
Cal soy.
Cow soy. Delicious.
Kal-El Jr. They make a good burger.
I think that's a NASCAR driver.
And he's fast.
He's faster than a speeding bullet. But to the matter at hand.
Right. In many ways, we did just spend, say, 20 minutes on, or more like 8 minutes on what Isaac said the question wasn't about.
But he brought it up.
He brought it up, and far be it from us to leave, to not
Sometimes-
attempt to mine an atrocity for humor.
Look, we haven't actually delved into answering techniques in a little bit here.
Right.
Sure.
We've sort of
Yeah,
been playing
that's
fast and loose with this.
definitely.
But this is a technique which is to define what your question is not.
Yeah.
Right.
Define what your answer is not.
Right.
Which will kind of put in relief
Yeah.
what the question is.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we've demonstrated the techniques, obviously,
Right.
through the past 90
But we've
episodes.
But we've also demonstrated one of the ways that can go wrong.
Sure.
Is if is depending on who you're dealing with, there might be certain baits that just even bringing them up they're just not going to ignore.
Right.
You can't dangle that and say not this without
Yeah.
them, spending time on that. So it's just something to be aware of. So one thing that I was thinking was, maybe this will give you guys an opportunity to kind of think through some of your ideas. He gave us one, which was the disgusting foods thing.
Oh, man.
So I think that's pretty good. I think if you were to, if one of your crimes was to distribute cans of sardines sort of throughout
Right.
the airplane, that could be a horrible crime that you could commit, which would not necessarily to, just be eating these sardines, but to actually open them, put them in the baggage area,
Yes.
put them, under a couple seats, just open sardines.
Bribe a stewardess to dispense them and
Yeah.
make it mandatory.
Exactly. And there was another thing that I came up here with, which was, you'll notice that there's a real restriction of sort of the means of production, not production in terms of capital on an airplane, like the airline and their services are the only ones that exist when you're on an airplane. So an interesting crime that could sort of combat that monopoly that they have would be to say start your own drink service, a rival drink service on the airplane. And that could create sort of an interesting.
That's a great plan because they do have a rule that you are not allowed to drink your own alcohol on the plane.
Yeah.
You can't bring and then drink your own alcohol.
Right.
But if you go,
guess what?
It's not mine. I'm not drinking it.
I
I'm just
bought
selling it.
Just selling
I'm selling
alcohol.
it to the fellow passengers. They're not drinking their own alcohol.
They're drinking my own alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why is this wrong?
Yeah.
Well, but if you're selling it, then it does become
It's a
that
club.
person's property.
It's a club.
That's interesting. Maybe you're
It's a club. You get access
How
to
about
my
this?
alcohol.
Okay.
I like
You're not.
It is
buying
a club.
alcohol,
That's
you're
very good.
getting Access to
my alcohol.
that's I think that's how you handle
You're
it.
paying for membership.
I think so, yeah.
That's really good. You could also have maybe like a deposit system where they sort of put down a deposit.
Oh yeah.
On,
You don't own it yet. It's
you
on
don't own it.
layaway.
It's on layaway.
You can drink it now.
But if you return the bottle to me empty, you will be charged.
Or even,
Yeah.
I think you have to say mostly empty.
Yeah,
you know, because then
That's
you're
true.
going to have a
That's
lot
true.
of people going,
There's
some
guess
left.
what? Yeah.
Yeah, if
Half
it's
a
not
finger
enough for
left.
me to take a sip of it,
Yeah.
But
and just see, I'm not drinking it. I'm going to sip it and just spit it out. I'm
That's
not gonna
tasting
drink
it.
Just
Okay.
tasting it. I'm not drinking it. Tasting.
it's just a flight of alcohols,
Yeah.
as it were. But I think
Oh, that's good.
not
That's
necessarily
good too, Gabe.
thanks,
Sorry,
thank
yeah.
you.
Flight of
You
alcohol.
know, also,
Mhm.
just really quick side thought. When you said stewardess, I was thinking I don't think they're called that anymore. But I don't really care.
They're
But then I was
called
like, what are they called?
stewards.
They're called flight attendants.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Too.
And then I was thinking, well, if I'm on a flight, I'm attending the
I'm
flight.
attending the flight.
So
Yeah,
aren't we
yeah.
all flight attendants? So I think this is another loophole for this whole.
Yeah, there's a
you
lot
know,
of-
this
there's
whole-
You're creating. That's really good. You're creating sort of the stream of logic that will be a good defense.
It will
Yeah.
hold up
in court.
Now, I'm gonna go. I want to go further with this. It doesn't seem to be answering the question. It just seems like we're coming up with great business ideas right now, and
Okay.
that we're not describing crimes on planes. But I do think another option is to have a competing safety performance.
Mm.
You know, they get up and
Okay.
do theirs, and
Yep.
then you get up and do yours.
Right.
Yep.
Just kind of new, innovative ways to use the flotation device.
Yes. Yeah. Or to be different ways to be
Yeah.
safe because it's so
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
We've all seen it this way. So you're saying this would be like not maybe the same basic strategies
Sure.
for safety,
Yes.
but just presented in a more compelling way.
Or something like, hey, we all have individual seatbelts, but in our society these days, everyone's so isolated and atomized.
Mhm.
What if we did one big seatbelt that goes all the way across the row? And then that way you get to know your neighbor a little more.
Yeah.
It's just sort of extra long seatbelt.
I was on a flight recently, and the flight attendant
Thank you.
guy was he was kind of funny. He had this dry sense of
Yeah.
humor,
Yeah,
and
sometimes
he
they do.
said
It's
at
probably
one
something to
point
do with the altitude.
at one point during the
It dries out.
during
It dries out some of
Yeah.
the wetter senses.
That's right. That's right.
at one point during the safety thing, he goes, "This is interesting. Did you know that your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device?"
This is interesting.
He said that,
I like that.
and he said it in
Is it Jay
like
Leno
a
up
goofy
there?
This
way.
is
Like,
actually going to be.
yeah,
check it
this is interesting. Like, and then he
This is
said,
interesting.
"We're getting serious now. Federal
think
law prohibits the tampering with."
Okay.
So anyway,
On
he was
flight.
kind of funny.
That's good.
It
That's
was
good.
not just to
What a-
run through everything.
What a relief.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people can still have fun on their jobs out there, but ultimately, what we were talking about is trying to take them down.
Yeah.
Not the airplanes, just the commerce
Yes.
sort of side of things. But I mean, that honestly, the freer access to alcohol, I don't see how that could possibly be a
Possibly
bad
go wrong.
thing on the airplane.
Especially with all these people who have, say, prescriptions of things that they're using
Yeah.
to sort of moderate their fear of flying, perhaps, or
Sure.
just sleep.
Yeah.
We've got people who are already like dosed on Ambien and Xanax.
Yeah.
Now we're increasing access to alcohol, as Gabe says. I don't think it's.
I think it only
huge
enhances
problem.
the experience.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't think that's
For
really
them.
fits in the crime. You know, the paradigm that Isaac is bringing up.
I was
here.
thinking like, as far as committing a crime,
Yeah.
Right.
one thing that you could do is you could, it's cramped on planes. That's
Right.
always a complaint,
Sure.
right? And sometimes, it's the baggage is, sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
There's little people flying in the plane next to you. Do they need a whole seat?
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And they could probably go, they would be fine in the luggage.
Yeah.
With
In the cargo
luggage,
hold.
in the cargo hold, in the thing above.
Yes.
So maybe
I
sort
see.
of
the overseat
trying to convince someone to go into the overhead baggage.
compartment.
Yeah.
And if they don't, forcing them.
Yeah. And perhaps that might even become easier if they are already asleep.
Asleep on
So maybe there would be
drugs.
something. Maybe you could administer some Ambien surreptitiously, and that would give you an opportunity then to move somebody up into the baggage area.
And maybe
That's the overhead compartments.
to make it less conspicuous, you have some kind of extra bag that you bring that fits
Yeah.
a small sleeping person.
Yeah.
So like the body of a small person.
Mm-hmm.
Like some
Well, I mean, I hope it's
Yeah.
I don't want to kill them.
Do they have to be in a bag to go up there, or can they just cozy up on
I was
top
just
of-
saying to be less
It
conspicuous.
might be easier if you
if you could somehow
see.
get that person's body into the bag, then you don't have
It's
to
certainly-
while everything's
right.
going on, open it up and actually shove just a human body up there.
Yeah.
But I still don't see how
A person, well, a whole person, not dead. We're not talking about killing
Yeah.
people.
But I
we
think
will get to that.
from
but-
Isaac's perspective, that would be something that somebody else is doing that you might think is not suitable
Right.
for the airplane environment.
yeah.
His question was more directed at like, what are the things on planes that people do that
Like
what's the most
social
frustrating
crimes.
oh
thing?
Yeah.
Not come up with some
yeah, I guess that's
Okay,
true.
that's
Like,
interesting because I did
true.
one of my ideas. I think you might be invalidating one of them, which was behead a fellow passenger.
Yeah.
Like if you're on the outer, you're on the aisle and you've got someone right next to you in the middle seat.
Yeah.
If you kind of wait till everybody's asleep and then behead them during the flight.
Yeah. Then they can't lean on you.
Well, you would help that problem. If that's been a problem, that might be a good provocation.
the problem being this person has a
person
head.
keeps-
well, this
They no
person's
longer-
head keeps
How
leaning
are they
on me.
going to
Yeah.
lean their head on
Now
me
I see,
if
I
it's not
see.
attached
They don't have
anymore?
a head.
It can sit comfortably in their lap.
Yeah, with their hands on top.
And then also kind of as an added bonus of a crime, how is the person on the window? How do they get out if they've got to go to the bathroom or something? There's a headless, decapitated body just sitting there, totally unresponsive to anything
Yeah.
that they want to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
again, I'm saying based on what Gabe's
I
said,
think that you are less worried about climbing over, bumping
Yeah.
into somebody's knees. If it's pretty clear that it's not, it's not going to matter.
Well, I
if they're
think
just a body.
It
a
depends.
lot of people don't want to touch a dead body.
And I think it might depend on it might be sort of a doctor nude suit situation where some people might take them longer to figure out
Is he good?
exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Is this some kind of cool trick or is he dead?
Is Dr. Nude Suit any good?
That's a that sounds like a 90s band.
yeah.
This isn't a crime yet.
Let's see if we can make it one.
Well, or
Again, I think
it could be avoided to be a crime.
I just want to clarify that I think maybe Isaac was using the idea of crime
Yeah.
in a more poetic sense, like
Right. Yeah.
like a criminal act against your fellow
man.
passengers.
Like
Because
sensibilities.
More about being rude,
Yes.
yeah.
right?
Well, this would be the airplane against all of the passengers, not the airplane.
There's
but
man, there's man versus nature. There's man versus man. There's man versus God.
Yeah.
Man versus machine.
There's airplane against passenger.
Yes, and I was
one of
thinking
these.
the airplane doesn't like how movement on it alters its flight paths and wants everyone to stay seated.
Right.
And so the airplane demands that every passenger is catheterized when he's to reduce,
I like the way that this also encourages more highly trained flight attendants,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
like flight attendants who actually have, a degree in.
I'm just worried what it does to
Medicine.
boarding times, I
Oh,
think
boarding
it's
times are going to
supposed
go way up. Boarding times are going way up.
Because already,
Yeah,
Pre-boarding is going
Yeah.
to be.
already, if you have even 5 or 6, as you might on a regular flight, that
They're
need to
going-
be catheterized
They're
before.
going to suggest this is how they're going to take care of that.
Yeah.
Okay. The boarding time is longer, and you can actually get catheterized before the plane even arrives.
Right. Yeah.
And then they just hook you up. when
maybe-
you get there.
maybe
That's how they
you
take care of
You
that.
can
yeah.
arrive catheter.
Maybe it's even part of TSA. You're taking your shoes off anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just slip this up there.
right. That's true. Yeah, get a good look. And I'm gonna suggest, nude suit. Like, what does that do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to get that. They're taking this power on you.
Right.
They have this power over you.
Right.
Right.
To catheterize.
What
you
now,
now.
flight attendant?
Yeah.
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 But now, what?
Good
Where
luck.
are you gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
I know where you think I'm gonna go. You know exactly where I'm gonna go. But where do you think it goes now?
You made sure that you know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, you know where I'm going, destination wise,
Yep.
and other destination for other things.
Yeah, that's true. But as far as feet go, I mean,
I think if this were really quick.
no, you're fine.
If this was the case, when this becomes the case,
Right.
when planes win over passengers, one rude thing that you could do is to take your catheter out.
Yeah. Yep.
Just disconnect it, like you have your headphone jack, and then you have your
Yeah.
catheter spot,
Yeah.
and just to take it out and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just irrespective of the rules of the airplane.
It's just the worst when you get those mixed up and you just
Well,
start listening to piss.
Yeah, exactly that. And another cool, maybe not cool, but I should say cruel thing to do would be, eat something that's going to make it smell especially bad.
Yeah, that's I dealt with that on this weekend, and that it was Caleb. You brought a bunch of queso to
Yeah.
a gathering, and the next morning I couldn't tell either of these things is possible, that I had gotten queso on my clothing and was smelling queso on my clothing, or that I had eaten enough queso that it was in an important way coming through my pores, and that I could smell queso surrounding me everywhere I went.
Sort of like an aura of queso.
It was like an aura of queso. Yeah,
Yeah.
if there had been a particularly aura sensitive person, they would have been able to see. It would have been, say, yellow to orange.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, oh,
Or
I'm really getting
glow.
a strong Tostitos aura off of you. Yeah. I mean, something that you might aspire to. I don't know. Some
Yeah.
of us might.
Yeah. If you were to
cultivate that.
if you were to anything, I mean, and this is a place where also sort of people from the old country, Europeans, who eat primarily, say, cabbage and onions, seemingly would be able to excel as well.
Oh, European too, yeah.
And this is a good place to be for the airplane thing, because I think onions actually, I like onions.
Of course.
I like them in food mainly. But
I use them different ways, but
Yeah, you can do a poultice on your feet.
Sure.
It's supposed
Yeah.
to be very
That's supposed to
beneficial.
be
cut one in
effective.
half, put it on your ear.
right, yeah,
Cut another one in half, put it
somewhere else.
Your elbow.
on it.
And
Yes.
and that's, and you know, there's plenty of good uses for onions. In my opinion, food is probably
I mean,
Number one, yeah.
we're
I'm
all
gonna say.
agreeing that's top.
but and I think if you look at the data, that's what you're going to find is that most onions end up in a salad or on top of a burger. But I think that raw onions in particular on an airplane, that's pretty bad. That can be really, really bad. And you know, it's kind of in that tuna fish zone where it's like if you're the one eating it, it's much less upsetting
Right.
to encounter that odor. But if you're not, it's pretty rude to subject others to that.
Yep.
I mean, there was a man sitting next to me on a plane recently who was obviously very drunk, older man, and he was just really enjoying his music. And there were some younger men nearby. He kept on recognizing people that he didn't know.
That's
what I mean?
got to be a
Yeah.
specific level of drunk.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
you know
I wonder if
But
he
he
was
was
a member
making
of the club.
friends. A lot of people were enjoying him. Just, you know. But it's that kind of thing where you start to feel like, I feel bad. This guy is an older man. He shouldn't be like this in public.
Right.
But these two younger guys are like just really enjoying how drunk this guy is. And this one guy with his girlfriend, the guy who the drunk man is so into his music and just really vibing with these people next to him. And he eventually like forces the girl to listen to this song.
yeah
And they're actually everyone's game.
they're
For
playing
me,
along.
I was pretty annoyed at this guy.
Right.
And I wasn't really playing along.
Mm-hmm.
He was sitting right next to me. And at one point he was like, "Can you put this down? He had to put his drink, his beer that he was already very drunk and he got more beer
Yep.
on the plane.
Yep.
Like I said,
Not
he might
his
be part
own.
of the club.
Not his own. He made me put my table, my little
Tray table.
down and put his beer on there so he could get up and go pee. Well, look, there's several. If things,
Yes.
if
Right,
previous
this is-
ideas had been administered,
I kind of see how this has influenced you.
it would be that this would never have been the case,
Right.
and I would have been making money off of this man.
Yeah.
But I just thought, forcing someone else on the airplane to listen to your music,
Yeah. That's a crime.
it's a
is.
crime, and usually people do it by just playing it out. But
Right.
now now they actually address that. You're not allowed
Not
to do
allowed to
that.
do
But this guy was like, forcing his earbuds into someone else's
That's-
ears.
That is a violation. I
In
mean, I think if,
post-COVID days. I mean, you know,
it's. I think you could. That would be interesting. Even if you just did that, if you just went around forcing other people to put your earbuds into their ears with no promise of listening to cool music,
Yeah.
you might need it as bait. But ultimately, getting your earbuds into other people's ears—that's a crime.
I think so.
I think so.
It's a horrible crime.
It would be, but let's think about how you could do it.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like you did. You know.
Yeah,
try-
It's
social.
an important
Yeah.
message.
Oh.
Sort of like you make it like,
Yeah.
oh no, I had to get through this.
Yeah.
And this guy's drunk. I don't know what he's going to do if I say
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
one way. Which maybe that's all this guy was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just a big show. He wasn't actually.
mean,
drunk.
Hey, you
know-
could go. Oh, sorry, Gabe. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I was just gonna say what's pretty popular is you could just say, "Hey, you want to listen to Joe Rogan Experience?"
You could say, hey, check out Pete Holmes on Mark Maron's WTF podcast.
Right.
Right.
Did you know Mark
Right.
Maron is stopping his podcast?
Yeah.
And you can talk about that for a while, but I mean, honestly, at that point, they probably are already listening to on your earbuds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so that's the goal. You want to get people to listen on your earbuds.
Or you
Yeah.
could.
Or you could be like, hey, you want to hear Kumail Nanjiani's 4th appearance on Pete Holmes' podcast?
Right.
You could do
You made
that.
it weird.
You
Right.
could do that. I was thinking you could also go like, these earbuds feel so good,
Ooh.
That's good.
You gotta feel
or
these.
just different.
Your ears have to feel how different these earbuds are. Yeah.
Your ears,
Or you could be
should
like,
feel.
would you like to hear TJ Miller apologize yet again
For something
for
else.
something else that he did on Pete Holmes'
Yeah.
podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and note how these feel.
Mm-hmm. Think about it. Really think about it.
Note how they feel, and they're wired.
Yeah.
You're not putting loose
Yeah.
Right.
AirPods in
Well, yeah,
people's
because if somebody
ears.
starts to run away with them, you can just yank them
Yeah.
back out.
Sort of have him on a tether.
Yeah, a little bit, which might be part of the
Yeah.
whole thing for him. But
But then you could go. I mean, as a goof,
Yeah.
you could go if this other idea has come to pass and everyone is catheterized.
Mhm.
And go,
come back here.
That's another sort of tether. Get back. It might be good to have
Tether,
multiple.
yeah.
You could have multiple points of
mm-hmm.
sort of control.
Yeah,
if you
definitely.
feel that just having a catheter control
Would be cool
is
though.
not enough,
Yeah.
then you can add the earbud.
What if there was a wireless catheter?
I mean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody's trying to develop
yeah.
this.
Just Bluetoothing
Urine
away.
I wonder. It
somewhere
sounds like some
outside of the airport.
like there would like the real guy for the job for developing that would be some kind of weird piss Willy Wonka or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So,
He could develop
Wow.
that technology.
Can you imagine working? You're an inventor. You worked your whole life only to become the Willy Wonka of piss.
Yeah. But I mean, you're probably gonna be, drying your tears with wads of cash.
honestly, Gabe, I think you might be on the trajectory to being the Willy Wonka of piss. You're digging tunnels underground. You have
Okay.
these small people, goblins and dwarves.
I think it
You're
could be
kinda
achievable
working-
through magic
I'm
or
just
other
saying, if you just
mystical means.
kind of pivot,
Slightly.
you could be.
I don't know if I'd see how tunnels. There's something. It's extremely tactile. There's nothing Bluetooth about the way
Yeah,
that
but
I'm not
but
even
you-
using
but I think
tools. I'm
what
using my
Caleb's-
bare
but
hands.
I think what
It
Caleb's
has
saying
to go
is
somewhere.
you're dealing with the infrastructures. There are infrastructure issues.
Sure.
You're already establishing.
Bluetooth
some of
is
it.
runic. The symbol is a rune,
Right, it is.
and dwarves.
But you know
are
who
like
likes
runes.
digging tunnels also and is already in the tech sector? Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Elon
Elon.
Musk.
So
Yeah,
he's
that's
so
true.
he's probably the closest thing to piss Willy Wonka we have.
Yes, but you could be.
That's true. I'm
Don't-
not going
don't
to try to
sell
go toe to
yourself
toe with Elon.
Well,
Look.
listen. It takes that kind of courage.
Yeah.
You should believe in yourself. You should believe that you could be the Willy Wonka of piss,
Dude,
Gabe.
yeah. What if Tesla had just given up because not Einstein, but
Edison.
Edison
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
around? Then we wouldn't. Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, he got.
Well, we wouldn't have alternating current, right?
yeah, right. That's
Just be
the main
direct.
thing.
Just be DC. And then look where and with DC, that's Superman and there's 9/11.
Drain the swamp.
Thanks for listening to Advanced Answering Techniques. You can have your questions treated this way by sending them to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. We're looking for an audio file about a minute in length. Guys, we're over time. Anything right here, of course, Gabe, here's the way I'd like to pitch this. Gabe has famously not liked things. And
I've
he
enjoyed
has,
them thoroughly.
and he is now right, but he has just not clicked a little heart or a thumbs
Right.
up on certain interfaces. But he did on the recent post that I put up on Substack about my trailer and about a mishap with a chainsaw, and you can go check that out. I'm saying mostly just to see this sort of a museum of Gabe's like there.
It's a quick
It's
tour.
stunning.
It's a very brief tour. But I mean, I would heartily encourage you to go read
observe
Josh's trailer posts. I thought it to be very funny enough to click a button of like.
That's amazing. But I'd say if you want to see a museum of Gabe's likes, you could probably go to his Substack and go to his a tab called Likes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you all of Gabe's
should
likes.
just be one.
It will probably just be one, but that's
Right.
Yeah, but that might be a nice. That I would like it. I guess I was thinking maybe it would be fun for me to get some of the clicks.
Yes.
Like some additional views on my. So that was kind of why I phrased it the way that I did. But this is an interesting situation.
There's still a link there for you to click through to the actual page to read to the article, the essay. It's not really an article. It's not really an essay.
No.
It's kind of musings. But yeah, I did want to address really quickly the taking your shoes off on the plane thing. I have done that. I actually take care of my feet. I wear wool socks, so they really don't smell. I used to have a foot odor issue. Wool socks have pretty much resolved it for me. And I would say stocking feet on an airplane, especially woolen stockings, you're probably okay. And listen, sometimes it's just a little bit of comfort, that you can get in an airplane seat. But I would say generally, if you have, it's a weird, seems kind of arbitrary line, but if you're like wearing flip-flops, you should actually probably just leave the flip-flops on your feet. It's much better than just bare feet on the plane. That's just my opinion on that. But I did want to, I felt like I needed to be transparent about that. I do take my shoes off on airplanes with wool socks on that don't smell.
This isn't a big deal, but I bring a cheese grater on for my feet onto the plane.
And that's just a time when you kind of have downtime. You can work on some callus removal. Is that the idea?
I like to think of it as callus removal is one way to think of it, but another way is skin accumulation.
Okay.
Sort of piles of skin.
Sort of exfoliation at altitude.
I find that it works better at altitude. Yeah.
Right. It's more effective. Well, it dries it out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.